Have you ever just hit play on a brand new movie and it just starts, like instantly? It feels like actual magic, right? But what's happening behind your screen is one of the most incredible, mind-bending logistical feats of the entire modern internet. So let's pull back the curtain and see how all that magic really works.
Okay, so it all starts right here. When a Hollywood studio polishes off their latest blockbuster, the master file they send to a streaming service isn't something you could just download. I mean, we're talking about a file that can be 100 gigabytes, maybe even bigger. It's a colossal amount of data. Seriously, enough to fill up your phone dozens of times over.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How does that monster file get to your phone, your TV, anywhere in the world in seconds, and almost never, ever buffer? Well, to get our heads around it, we're going to use an analogy. Let's think of a streaming service as a massive global restaurant chain. And that 100 gigabyte movie? That's its secret 5-star master recipe. All right, so let's start at the very beginning with that original master recipe fresh from the studio. In the tech world, this has a name. It's called the mezzanine file. Now, this mezzanine file is absolutely perfect. It's flawless, it's uncompressed, it's got the highest possible audio and video quality you can imagine. But that perfection is also its biggest problem. It is way too big and way too high quality for anyone to stream directly. I mean, trying to stream this file would be like trying to drink from a fire hose. You just can't serve it up as is. It has to be prepped. And that brings us to our next stage, the high-tech prep kitchen. This is where that single giant master recipe gets totally transformed into something that can actually be served to millions of different people all at the same time.
Inside this digital prep kitchen, you've got these incredibly powerful computers acting as the master chefs. They take that one perfect mezzanine file and they start this crucial process called transcoding. And what that really means is they're cooking the movie, creating a whole bunch of different versions of it, each one tailored for a very specific purpose. And this is the real secret sauce of modern streaming. It's a concept called adaptive bitrate streaming. These computer chefs, they whip up a beautiful high bitrate 4K version for your giant living room TV, but they also make a solid 1080p version for your laptop and even a lower quality 480p version for when you're watching on your phone with a shaky connection. They make a whole spectrum of options for every possible scenario. So, to break it down, this whole prep job has two absolutely critical steps. First, like we just saw, they transcode the master file into all those different quality versions. But they don't stop there. The next step is where things get really clever. They start chopping. You know, in the culinary world, they call this mise en place. It means getting all your ingredients prepped and ready to go before you start cooking. The computers do the exact same thing. They take every single one of those quality versions they just made, and they slice them all into tiny 2 to 10 second long pieces, or chunks. And just like that, one movie has become a library of thousands upon thousands of tiny interchangeable video files. Now, of course, with thousands of these little pieces flying around, you need a way to keep track of it all. So the chefs create one more crucial thing, a manifest file. And look, if the video chunks are all the different ingredients, then the manifest file, that's the menu. It's a simple little text file that acts as a guide, telling your video player exactly what chunks are available, at what quality, and where in the world to find them. And this menu, this simple file, is the absolute key that unlocks this whole system. It's the map that connects your device to this vast library of video chunks, all prepped and ready to be served up. Okay, so all our ingredients are prepped. They're chopped, they're ready to go. But you wouldn't cook for a global restaurant chain in just one single kitchen, right? The food would get cold before it got anywhere. The exact same principle applies here. All those freshly made video chunks now need to be sent out all over the world. This is where the Content Delivery Network, or CDN, comes into play. The streaming service copies these thousands of video chunks onto servers all over the globe. You can think of these servers as local hot food counters set up in basically every neighborhood. So when you want to watch something in London, the video chunks are served from a server right there, not all the way from California. And that is what makes a global premiere truly instant for everyone, everywhere. So, the recipe has been prepped, it's been chopped, and it's been distributed to warehouses all over the world. Now for the final, most important step, placing the order. And this all happens right on your device. The very moment you hit that play button, the app on your phone or your TV, it springs into action. It becomes this incredibly smart waiter, and its only job is to give you the best possible viewing experience, with absolutely no delays. And the very first thing this smart waiter does, it downloads the menu, that manifest file we talked about. In just a fraction of a second, it now knows every single version and every single chunk of that movie that's available for it to order.
Next, it kind of looks around. It checks the size of your table, which is your screen resolution, and most importantly, it checks how hungry you are, which is just a stand-in for your current internet speed. It's constantly measuring the strength and stability of your connection.
And to make sure you get served immediately, because nobody, and I mean nobody, likes waiting. It places a super quick first order for a low-quality appetizer. It requests the first 480p chunk, which is small and downloads almost instantly. This is exactly why the video starts playing right away, even if it looks a little bit blurry for that first second. But this waiter is smart. While that first little appetizer chunk is playing, it sees that you've got a great fast Wi-Fi connection. So for the very next 2-second chunk, it seamlessly orders the 4K main course. You probably don't even notice the switch. The quality just elegantly ramps up to crystal clear. But what if, say, someone in your house starts a huge download and your Wi-Fi suddenly tanks? Well, the smart waiter detects this instantly. For the next chunk, it simply orders a smaller plate, a lower quality version. You might see the video quality dip for a second, but the key is the movie keeps playing. You avoid that dreaded spinning buffering wheel. That's the whole game.
So there it is, the entire journey, from kitchen to table. The studio sends the master recipe, it gets prepped and chunked in the prep kitchen. All those little pieces are stored in global warehouses right near you, and your device's own smart waiter orders the perfect piece for you, moment by moment, delivering a perfect meal right to your screen.
And that really is the absolute beauty of this system. It is an unbelievably complex, globe-spanning dance of data and logistics. But for us, sitting on the couch, it's completely invisible. It just works.
You know, this entire chain of events, from a 100-gigabyte file to a 10-second chunk, it all happens in the blink of an eye. It's the fraction of a second between you tapping a show and the first pixels lighting up your screen. It really reminds us that sometimes the magic of an experience isn't the thing itself, but the incredible, invisible system that delivers it. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other invisible logistics are powering the rest of our daily lives?